This conference will now be recorded.
Are we on?
Yeah, now we are live to the world. I'm just checking the visuals. 1 second, madam. Just
Yes.
checking the visuals to be on safer side.
Okay.
We are live to the world now. Just
Okay.
to reconfirm the image quality and all.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now we are live to the world. Welcome to DRTSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello, and a warm welcome to Ms. Anuja Bali-ji. She is a special educator, but more than that, she is a humanist to the core, environmentalist, climate change activist, and more than that, a concerned citizen who is working very enormously on every Wednesday, stating that
Mhm.
the waste which we are going to generate is the main killer which is destroying our present and future. In saying so, the same waste is creeping into our the minds of human beings in decision making, that too when it comes to an important field like education.
Yeah.
And there too again the intermediate education, once you pass your higher secondary school examination or class, this intermediate we call plus 1 and plus 2, 11 and 12, is such a important factor in every student's life, career, as well as the parents outlook.
Yeah.
After this, once you pass the intermediate or 11th or 12th, the supposed students, they enlarge upon their career towards science, engineering side, art side, or other diplomas, or they migrate. So this is a very fundamental aspect of any education in India, in every state. So when such is the case, how is that the students who should enjoy their education, there should be fun and frolic, all the milestones should go together. हम यही
Mhm.
कहते हैं कि वो जिंदगी में आप जो कुछ भी करना चाहते हैं वो प्राइम में वो करना चाहिए, लेकिन क्यों हमारे स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी स्टूडेंट्स सुइसाइड कर ले रहे हैं और उनके पेरेंट्स रोड पे क्यों आ रहे हैं, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, వై స్టూడెంట్స్ ఆర్ కమిటింగ్ సూసైడ్స్, ఎందుకు పిల్లలు ఆత్మహత్యలు చేసుకుంటున్నారు, తల్లిదండ్రులు రోడ్ల మీదకి వస్తూ ఉన్నారు. 10వ తరగతి తర్వాత ఇంజనీరింగ్ కానీ మెడిసిన్ కానీ మిగతావి ఏవి తీసుకోవాలన్నా ఇంటర్మీడియట్ అనేది చాలా ప్రాముఖ్యమైనది. 10వ తరగతి వరకు అందరూ ఆడుతూ పాడుతూ చదువుతారు. మళ్ళీ 11, 12 అంటే ఇంటర్మీడియట్ ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ సెకండ్ ఇయర్ వచ్చే వరకు ఎందుకు మారుతుంది ఆ కోణం దృక్పథం, ఎందుకు తల్లిదండ్రులు కూడా ఒక పెద్ద ఆశతో పిల్లలపై తమ కలలను భారంగా మోపుతా ఉన్నారు. ఈ మోపడాన్నే ఈరోజు కార్పొరేట్ మాఫియా, ఎడ్యుకేషన్ మాఫియా దీన్ని బలంగా తీసుకొని వాళ్ళకు అనుగుణంగా మార్చుకొని ఈరోజు పిల్లలకు అటు తల్లిదండ్రులకు ఒక గుదిబండలాగా కావడం, దాని ప్రత్యామ్నాయమే మళ్ళీ పిల్లలు ఆత్మహత్యలు చేసుకోవడం. వాట్ ఐ వాస్ ట్రైయింగ్ టు సే ఇస్
Mhm.
fun and frolic till 10th class. The
Mhm.
schools have sports, extracurricular activities, everything. But all of a sudden, how is that it is changing? I am taking the example of Telangana.
Mhm.
Equally in Andhra Pradesh also, I think similar situation prevails.
Mhm.
What is happening once they come out of 10th class? Why are they being forced in the name of competitive examinations in 11th and
Mhm.
12th? That sports, that fun and frolic is missing.
Mm-hmm.
This entire 11th and 12th has been taken over by the corporate mafia. Instead of children enjoying after 10th, 11th, and 12th, they are being burdened, overburdened, and not only that, the dreams of parents to get their wards into engineering or medicine or some other courses is creating a stressful situation for the students, unable to
Yeah.
come out of such. The children, the students, unfortunately, they are committing suicides, and as well as the entire curriculum, now more than a decade, has changed into the corporate culture wherein the corporate mafia or education mafia are dictating terms to the governments, and gullible parents falling a prey, forcing students into a stressful situations, often committing suicides or else failures or else confused minds or else they become so brilliant they pass out in higher this thing to join engineering and medicine only to falter away in later part of their lives. So this saga, unfortunately, such incident happened in Telangana. Again, we lost another, a female student, unfortunately, who jumped from a premises in Madhapur. She
Oh.
met with the violent death, madam. So many deaths were happening after every examination. We see children committing suicides. Even in Telangana, during 2017-18, because of the mistakes of the intermediate board in corrections, many students committed suicides. Many students. The same
So,
saga now continues in a different way, forcing children, students to become so confused. They do not know what to read. Board of Intermediate Education in Telangana has prescribed the syllabus for first year and second years.
mm-hmm.
Is the same being taught right from government college to aided and these corporate colleges or private colleges? They are supposed to take the Board of Intermediate Examination. Am I right, madam? We call the government
Mm-hmm.
examination. First, they should
Mm-hmm.
pass that. Only after they pass
Yeah.
that, you need to get into competitive examination
Yeah.
modes, whether it is medicine or engineering. That is how we studied. First, we
Yeah.
cleared Board of Intermediate Examination with proper syllabus, understanding the syllabus, at the same time enjoying our lives.
Mm-hmm.
We were not burdened. We
Yeah.
also, I'm also basically a doctor, and you are a special educator. You have migrated, you have seen different parts of the world, but we were never pushed into such type of insecure feeling mindsets or stressful mindsets. Do we?
Mm-hmm.
What is happening with the children
No.
now? Why are they being forced? Gullible parents see they are selling their land to
Yeah.
pay hefty fees for plus 11 and 12 intermediate education. Government keeps calm because they are being funded by this corporate mafia, corporate culture for their elections. So, no education policy, proper policy, no regulation on that policy, and parents and students are suffering. And the quality output of such intermediate, with due respects to all those wonderful students coming out in flying colors, we salute you. But majority, what is happening with them? Why they are not successful? Who were very successful till 10th class? What is happening in the plus 11 and 12? One comment from you, then I'll try to share some visuals before we start. Your comment, madam. Your forward.
So, yeah, you said it. There is no one specific reason. There are many parallel reasons, and there is only one protagonist, one hero, or the student who's going to be living his or her life based on the decisions they take now. There is lot of financial aspects involved, because education just like America, education is not cheap here as well. So until 12th in US and many other countries, you get very good quality education for free. But after 12th, after they finish high school, they choose whether they want to attend college or not, because that's why the college loans, when people talk about college loans, that's why they exist in US, because it's absolutely unaffordable. So until 12th they do these academy courses or certification courses, that is again done at school from 9, 10th, 11th, 12th, the high school level, where they learn or master a skill in these 3, 4 years. It can be a beauty related or health related or cyber security, plumbing, carpentry, whatever. One of these skills they get certified and master in these 4 years, and then they choose that trade school route where they are ready to work anywhere. That doesn't happen in India. Now, people, even a person who cannot afford, wants their child to attend engineering college or medical college. And I clearly, put the balls, all the balls, not just one, in students' court, because does the student have the aptitude to do that? Because that's most important. बच्चों का क्या इंटरेस्ट है वो कोई देखता ही नहीं है. How can parents decide, how can teachers or educational institutes decide that this student has secured X marks in an exam, or say the competitive exam, is capable or not capable? Maybe the student was stressed, maybe the student could not, like a couple of days ago we read about this the girl who failed the UPSC exam, and then the brother came for Raksha Bandhan, and he saw that the sister was very unhappy and sad and dejected. So he found out the reason, that she could not clear the UPSC exam. So he took it upon himself and he decided to quit his job. He was in IT, and he did that exam. And he just wanted to find out what are the hurdles, why couldn't she clear it. And then after he passed, he coached his siblings, and then in like 2 years all the siblings are IAS, and they all cleared UPSC basically. And he said only one thing, that unless and until the student who's doing these competitive exams understands the syllabus very clearly, that understanding the syllabus clearly is the key to cracking these exams. But we know that many of these academies, like the quota and all these other people, they do not give the syllabus to the students. The students often complain that we don't know what we are doing, and the Indian rote learning thing, they are just continuing there. And we'll go ahead in the conversation, and I'll give you examples what I saw in the US. Like, it has become a trademark of Indian parents to be so anxious, so exasperated for this getting into. I just cannot understand. I feel sad for the students. Let them decide.
I'll just show those two videos which you have told about the brothers, sisters becoming IAS, IPS. Simply after understanding, it is the syllabus, the core aspect of any course, whether it is math, physics, chemistry, languages. First, you should become perfect in that. Only after that, the competitive spirit, because you have to write the board exam, which is theory and practical in the prescribed mode, not in the competitive mode. Competitive only objections, only objective. But here it is subjective.
Objective, yeah?
Yeah, I'll just show some videos as what happened with this girl, and then I will show that brother's successful story. Then
Yeah.
we'll get it. Very unfortunate. Very sorry to share these visuals.
And today on Twitter, this thread was on.
Yeah.
People were complaining.
అటువంటి టైంలో ఒక కాల్ వచ్చింది. ఒక అమ్మాయి పైనుంచి కింద బిల్డింగ్ నుంచి దూకి సూసైడ్ చేసుకుందని. మనం వచ్చి వెరిఫై చేసినాము. అమ్మాయి పేరు వంశిక, ఏజ్ 16 years, రెసిడెన్స్ కామారెడ్డి. ఆ అమ్మాయి త్రిబుల్ ఐటి సూపర్ 60 కోర్స్లో 9th రోజు ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ జాయిన్ అయింది. ఈ మంత్లో లాస్ట్ 4 days బ్యాక్ జాయిన్ అయింది. అమ్మాయి ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ స్టూడెంట్. వచ్చిన దగ్గర నుంచి కొద్దిగా పేరెంట్స్ గుర్తొస్తున్నారు, అదే
make it full screen.
పేరెంట్స్ చూడబుద్ధి అవుతుంది అని చెప్పేసి క్లాస్మేట్స్ తోటి తినే దగ్గర మెస్లో పక్కనున్న క్లాస్మేట్స్తో షేర్ చేసుకుంది. ఈరోజు మార్నింగ్ 8:45 టైంలో క్లాస్లో ఉండగా, కెమిస్ట్రీ క్లాస్లో ఉండగా మేడం తోటి వామిటింగ్ వస్తుంది, నేను సిక్ అయినా, కడుపుని వస్తుంది, నేను పోయి రూమ్లో పడుకుంటా అని చెప్పి వాళ్ళ క్లాస్ టీచర్తో పర్మిషన్ తీసుకొని రూమ్కి వెళ్తున్నా అని చెప్పింది. 5th ఫ్లోర్లో పైన టాప్ ఫ్లోర్ 5th ఫ్లోర్కి వెళ్ళేసి పైనుంచి దూకి చనిపోయింది. అమ్మాయి చెప్పులు గిప్పులు మొత్తం అక్కడ పైన టాప్ ఫ్లోర్లో 5th ఫ్లోర్. ఈ గర్ల్స్ క్యాంపస్ నారాయణ కాలేజీలో మార్నింగ్ 9:40 టైంలో ఒక కాల్ వచ్చింది, ఒక అమ్మాయి పైనుంచి కింద.
This is this 13th, madam. Last Tuesday, 13th morning, this unfortunate girl, our Vamshika, who just joined, she's a first year student, and he said triple IT and all. And as soon as it is just 4 days into that, Narayana College in Madhapur area, Nizampet, sorry, she jumped from the college premises and killed herself. And all these 4 days, she was stating to her friends that she's falling sick. She's just could not forget her parents and her house. Such a pitiable condition. తల్లిదండ్రులారా, మీరు ఆలోచన చేయండి. వంశిక, నేను నా తల్లిదండ్రులను, నా ఇంటిని మర్చిపోలేకపోతున్నా అని చెప్పి మొదటి సంవత్సరం 4వ రోజుకే ఇక్కడ పైనుంచి దూకి చనిపోయింది. మీరు ఇంత లక్షలు ఖర్చు పెట్టి పిల్లలకు ఏమి చదవాలా, వాళ్ళకి ఏమి కావాలా అనే ఆలోచన లేకుండా వారిపై పిల్లలు బాగుపడాలా, వారు ఇంజనీర్లు కావాలా, డాక్టర్లు కావాలా అని మనం కలలు కనుకుంటూ వారిని ఈ విధంగా చేయడం వల్లనే వారు ఇటువంటి అఘాత్యాలకు గురవుతున్నారు. మీరు ఒక్కసారి ఆలోచన చేయండి. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు ఉన్నటువంటి వాతావరణం, ఈ నారాయణ, ఈ కార్పు చైతన్య లేక రెసిడెన్షియల్ కాలేజెస్లో చదివితేనే మార్కులు వస్తాయి, ర్యాంకులు వస్తాయి అనే ఒక తప్పుడు ప్రచారం వల్ల మీరు ఆస్తులను కుదవబెట్టి పిల్లలను చదివించే ప్రయత్నంలో పిల్లలను కోల్పోతా ఉన్నాం మనం. ఆలోచన చేయండి. కోల్పోకపోయినా అక్కడ ఉండి నిర్బంధపు విద్య అంటాం మనం. భయంతోనో దేంతోనో అక్కడ ఆహారం సరిగ్గా లేక కొందరు, అక్కడ టైమింగ్స్లో చదవలేక కొందరు, ఆటపాటలు లేకుండా ఉదయం నుంచి రాత్రి వరకు కేసీఆర్ గారు, కేటీఆర్ గారు గొప్పలు చెప్తారు. కల్వకుంట్ల తారక రామారావు యునైటెడ్ అమెరికాలో చదివి వచ్చారు, కవిత అమెరికాలో ఉండి వచ్చింది. అక్కడ ఇటువంటి నిర్బంధపు విద్య ఉంటుందా? మరి ఇక్కడ ఈ రాష్ట్రంలో కల్వకుంట్ల చంద్రశేఖర్ వారి తండ్రి ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా ఉన్నటువంటి తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రంలో ఉదయం 7 గంటల నుంచి 8 గంటల నుంచి రాత్రి 8 గంటల వరకు ఈ విధంగా కార్పొరేట్ కళాశాలలు రుబ్బుతా ఉంటే, ఇంటర్మీడియట్ స్కూళ్ళ పరిస్థితి అదే. ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టు ఫీజులు తీసుకొని ఈ విధంగా రుబ్బుతా ఉంటే కల్వకుంట్ల తారక రామారావు గారు దేశం ప్రపంచం అంతా తిరుగుతూ ఉన్నారు, ఎక్కడెక్కడి నుంచో వస్తాయి అంటున్నారు. మరి ఇక్కడ ఈ నిర్బంధపు విద్యను మీరు ఎందుకు ఆపుతలేరు? మిస్టర్ కేటీఆర్ అండ్ ఈవెన్ కవిత, దే కేమ్ ఫ్రమ్ అమెరికా, మేడం. సో దే నో ది ఎడ్యుకేషన్, how education is imparted there, stress free. And their own father Kalvakunta Chandrasekhar Rao is the honorable chief minister here. How is that they are allowing students to be caged right from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. in the evening? Why the hell they are not stopping this? This is genocide, I say. And not only that, they are forcing, they have created an atmosphere wherein until and unless you join this residential corporate Narayana Chaitanya, you don't get ranks, or you don't get good pass marks, or you don't get entry into engineering and medical seats. See how they are advertising now in NEET and all, shamelessly, in spite of Supreme Court, High Court orders. All the governments in India and union government is sleeping. All the state governments, they are just allowing this publicity. This is the publicity which is forcing parents to force their children to join into this stressful colleges wherein morning 8 till night 8 they have to sit and study, no sports, no games. Mr. Kalvakunta Taraka Ramarao, is this the education you are going to present to the world? What will happen to such type of mindsets? Without stress, they should enjoy their milestones. Is it not true? Are you doing the same thing with your children, Mr. Kalvakunta Taraka Ramarao garu? I'm trying to question him. మీరు అదే విధంగా మీ పిల్లలను కూడా ఈ విధమైనటువంటి బాధాకరమైనటువంటి పరిస్థితుల్లో మీరు చదివిస్తా ఉన్నారా? ఉదయం 8 నుంచి రాత్రి 8 వరకు ఎక్కడ తిరగకుండా పోకుండా పిల్లలకు ఆట పాట లేకుండా చేస్తున్నారా? కల్వకుంట్ల చంద్రశేఖరరావు గారు, కల్వకుంట్ల తారక రామారావు గారు, మీ పిల్లలు మీరు చూస్తారు అక్కడ దేవుళ్ళకు అన్ని చోట్లకు తీసుకొని పోతా ఉంటారు, భద్రాచలం అక్కడికి. మిగతా పిల్లల పరిస్థితి ఏమిటి? సెలవుల్లో కూడా సమ్మర్ హాలిడేస్లో కూడా కాలేజీలు స్కూళ్ళు క్లాసెస్ నడుపుతా ఉంటే చోద్యం చూస్తున్న ప్రభుత్వం, దాని ఫలితమే ఈరోజు తప్పనిసరి పరిస్థితుల్లో తల్లిదండ్రులు అప్పో సొప్పో చేసుకొచ్చి అక్కడ పిల్లలను చదివించే ప్రయత్నం, వారి బంగారు భవిష్యత్తు కోసం తాపత్రయపడడం, ఆ పిల్లలు ఆటపాటకు దూరమై ఇటువంటి పరిస్థితుల్లో ఆత్మహత్యలు చేసుకుంటా ఉన్నారు. ఏం చోద్యం చూస్తా ఉన్నారు. యా మేడం, ఎనీ కామెంట్ ఆన్ దిస్ మేడం?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that people who've gone from here to the US or other countries and then they experience the education there, but they do not forget the roots. You know, roots as in I'm not talking about the cultural roots, but I'm talking about the rote learning roots. Um, I studied in CBSE. I know how different it was, and now. Um, we cannot have the same education system because it was just mugging system, and concept learning, experiential learning, hands-on learning, outcome based learning, skill development, skill learning, these are all the important way to be infused in education. Just today on Twitter, there was this conversation going on, and I was so surprised with the time of it that today we are going to discuss this, and look what I find. That one person said that 8 out of 10 electrical engineers interviewed by this person cannot write equations for basic RC circuits. And then people started responding. They're like, you know, uh, more than 2,315 uh, sub conversations going on that, and this everybody, like right from mechanical engineering, doctors who pass out and don't even know how to do CPR or how to look at the monitor and identify that the person is about to have a heart attack, or people who can't electrical and electronics, students who've passed out and they can't give these basic differences. In interview, if somebody asks about Ohm's law, they can't tell that. And it's so embarrassing. Why do you want your children or pressure cook them into becoming doctors and engineers?
That's a
Because
valid
it
point.
is the it is the parents who are deciding the future. It was earlier, and it is still continuing when we have all these forums where parents as adults are claiming that, oh, I'm giving full liberty to my child, and my child, or they come and talk about all these things. What is their child doing? Like this film actor who was who was the brand ambassador for this ed tech company, and that company just shut down one day. And did he send his children to study there? No.
Baiju,
We have
Shahrukh Khan here,
we
and
have
Telugu actors and Malayalam actors, they were advertising for Baiju Academy. Did anyone send their children to Baiju Academy? And not only that, in Telangana, madam, All India Majlis Ittihadul Musliman MP, he is the his kith and kin are studying in America. I wanted to release that photo, but with due respects, their kith and kin are enjoying liberty and quality education in America, while here in Telangana, when students commit suicide, even then also, because of corrections, this All India Majlis Ittihadul Muslim Party, like unlike other parties also, they have not gone to any student's house and they have not made any policy statement on the floor of the assembly to force the government to change the entire thing. This is a very, very, very unfortunate situation when the
it is.
ruling as well as the opposition are funded by this corporate mafia at the cost of suffering students, unfortunately selling everything and paying parents, wherein again the quality of education is always questionable, as you have already given a good example. Now I'll show you, before I come to you madam, I will show you the successful story of the brother. He said syllabus is more important. We all made it meet the four siblings who cracked UPSC CSE to become IAS and IPS. Mr. Kalvakunda Chandrasekhar Rao and also Mr. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and all chief ministers, all ministers across India. It is the syllabus, not the competitive examination, NEET, MSET, which you are trying to prepare children right from first year, first day. No, they should pass their intermediate syllabus exam in the prescribed format, theory and practical, and while enjoying sports and extracurricular activities. How can stress will be relieved? Till 10th you are running around, but even 10th also, because of corporate culture, the same colleges and schools, they are employing the same thing.
Yeah. And now they have this fashion of dummy schools, which is taking away students from schools.
1 second, madam, I think there is some problem with the sound.
Okay.
I'm just trying to check. Is it clear now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You are able to hear me, no? Yeah,
Yes.
is it clear now?
Hmm.
It's clear.
Yeah.
Oh, till this time I'm told there was no volume because we were
No, no,
playing
there
that
were.
video and all. And that video also very clear. Now I'm going to show
No,
another
no.
video
I
of the
can hear you.
siblings who have cracked UPSC and all. There the syllabus was important for them. The prescribed syllabus in the intermediate, I mean in the course, they have to pass that. In intermediate, after schooling, they should pass the prescribed intermediate exam syllabus through practical and theory examinations. Only after that, 1.5 months we used to go for competitive examinations, coaching classes. But that competitive exam closing class started from day one in intermediate. And the same culture, these corporates, Narayana or Gautam or Chaitanya, they have extended it to the school also. So they are killing the spirit of education with extracurricular activities and sports. We want students to become wholesome,
Yeah.
not a banana. Huh?
We can't see the video if you are playing the video.
Oh, no, madam. 1 second.
Mhm.
Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Is it clear now?
Yeah.
I think there is some. That's what when we announce the show,
Mhm.
the same interference. 1 second, madam. I am told by many that my sound is not being heard.
Okay.
Just let me just check what has happened.
Sure.
Is it clear now?
So you're
1 second,
asking them.
madam.
Hmm.
Just trying to get the. They
Yes.
says there is a problem with my sound. See,
Okay.
this is how they try to manipulate.
Yeah.
You are able to hear, but
Hmm.
unfortunately, they are stating that they are unable to hear my sound. Is it clear now? Is it clear? No, no, just check in the other format. 1 second, madam, because there seems to be some nasty things are happening. Such an important issue because when we try to raise,
Yeah.
just checking with my
That's
own
true.
instrument.
Hmm.
I'm trying to check my sound. You speak, madam.
Um, I am able to hear you clearly. Yeah.
Your sound is there,
That's true.
but my sound
Yeah.
is not going out. That's the
Oh.
civilian. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
check, madam. 1 second. I think somewhere something has gone wrong.
So in Buddhism, it's said voice does the work of Buddha.
Yeah,
You
it should
know,
be.
when we are
Should
trying
be.
to when we are
Is
trying
it clear now?
to speak, yes, when we are trying to speak about something that's not helping the society, um, there may be many forces or devilish attacks, but I can't hear you now. All right. You selected no audio. I can't hear you. Nope. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Is it clear now?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, check there. Unfortunately, something happened.
No problem. Technology is such.
Is it clear now?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Is the is the video
Yeah,
playing? Or
yeah. Now everything is clear because of some technical hitches.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't know. Up till now, they have not heard. And this is the four brother success story. Before that, we were trying to show this Nizampet. This is the audio.
అమ్మాయి పేరు
Intermediate student Vamshika.
వంశిక, ఏజ్ 16 years, రెసిడెన్స్ కామారెడ్డి. ఆ అమ్మాయి త్రిబుల్ ఐటి సూపర్ 60 కోర్స్లో 9th రోజు ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ జాయిన్ అయింది. ఈ మంత్లో లాస్ట్ 4 days బ్యాక్ జాయిన్ అయింది. అమ్మాయి ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ స్టూడెంట్. వచ్చిన దగ్గర నుంచి కొద్దిగా పేరెంట్స్ గుర్తొస్తున్నారు, అది ఇది, నేను పేరెంట్స్ చూడబుద్ధి అవుతుంది అని చెప్పేసి క్లాస్మేట్స్ తోటి తినే దగ్గర మెస్లో పక్కన ఉన్న క్లాస్మేట్స్తో షేర్ చేసుకుంది. ఈరోజు మార్నింగ్ 8:45 టైంలో క్లాస్లో ఉండగా, కెమిస్ట్రీ క్లాస్లో ఉండగా మేడం తోటి వామిటింగ్ వస్తుంది, నేను సిక్ అయినా, కడుపుని వస్తుంది, నేను పోయి రూమ్లో పడుకుంటా అని చెప్పి వాళ్ళ క్లాస్ టీచర్తో పర్మిషన్ తీసుకొని రూమ్కి వెళ్తున్నా అని చెప్పింది. 5th ఫ్లోర్లో పైన టాప్ ఫ్లోర్ 5th ఫ్లోర్కి వెళ్ళేసి పైనుంచి దూకి చనిపోయింది. అమ్మాయి చెప్పులు గిప్పులు మొత్తం అక్కడ పైన
So it clearly states an inter-student committed suicide in a college hostel in Bachupalli. A student named Vamshika jumped from the fifth floor of the hostel. The student died on the spot, according to CI Suman Kumar. R. Vamshika of Kamareddy town was admitted to the hostel by her parents a week ago. On Tuesday morning, her fellow students informed the college administration when they saw Vamshika falling down. He is stating that she fell homesick. Why are parents forcing children to become engineers and medicine doctors without their understanding of the course? Morning 8
Yeah.
till 8, no sports, no extracurricular activities. Till school, till 10th, they enjoy everything. As soon as they come to intermediate, why are they being forced? ఇంటర్మీడియట్ రాగానే ఎందుకు తల్లిదండ్రులు లక్షల రూపాయలు పెట్టి ఈ విధంగా నిర్బంధపు విద్య చేస్తా ఉన్నారు? ఉదయం 8 నుంచి రాత్రి 8 వరకు, right from morning 8 to evening 8, no holidays. And now a craze, until and unless you join them in residential, they are not going to get good marks, they will not get into engineering or medical courses. Now this is how corporate mafia is created. Instead of making children to study the basic syllabus intermediate course, they have created all this in the name of competition, while making children to suffer into stressful conditions. I don't know why Kalvakuntla Chandrasekhar Rao, his own children, both Kalvakuntla Taraka Ramarao and Kavita were in America. Why Kalvakuntla Taraka Ramarao is allowing such type of forced education in intermediate? Why they are being allowed to run classes in the summer vacation also? And morning till 8, are they allowing their children to do the same thing? Then how is that they are imposing this and by collecting huge money? Because is this for the same reason corporate mafia funding elections for political parties? And how many precious lives and what is the quality of such children who are being forced? You have said so many examples. That is why we are saying in our education we studied intermediate syllabus, theory and practical. Only after that, competitive MSET or medicine, it was only 1.5 months. But that 1.5 months has become an yardstick. Right from the day one, they are teaching you competitive examination schedule, forgetting the syllabus which is prescribed by the government or Board of Intermediate Education in Telangana. While Board of Intermediate Education in Telangana and government are in a sleeping mode, allowing children to become captive right from 8 till evening 8, not allowing them to have fun and frolics, no sports, no extracurricular activities. How can a student become matured if he is just forced to mug and become captive? This is atrocious, inhuman. And are they doing the same with their children? No, they want their children to go around. One example, All India Majlis Ittihadul Musliman President, MP, his kith and kin are there in America. He has gone recently to Chicago. But what is happening here? Last time also, many died, committed suicide when correction. There was a problem with intermediate corrections, final examination, valuation. What is this the opposition party doing? That beats the intelligence. So you have sent me another video wherein a brother, after understanding why his sister not able to crack the UPSC, he quit his job. He went for the examination to understand how examination is being done. Then he came back and he said, syllabus. First you understand the core subject. Once you understand the core subject, then you can answer theory, practical, objective, everything. Now I'm showing you such success story. We all made it. Meet the 4 siblings who cracked UPSC, CSE to become IAS, IPS. This I am showing to all parents, not only
Yeah.
Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, all states. ఇదంతా కూడా
Yes.
చూడండి, ఇక్కడ నిర్బంధపు విద్య కాదు. ఒక అన్న తన చెల్లెలు ఎందుకు పరీక్షలు పాస్ కాలేదని ఉద్యోగానికి రాజీనామా చేసి ఆ పరీక్ష తీసుకుంటే తనకు అర్థమైంది అసలు సబ్జెక్టు చదవాలా, ప్రాపర్ గా సిలబస్ తో కూడినటువంటి ఆ సబ్జెక్టు చదివి ఆ సబ్జెక్ట్ అవగాహన చేసుకున్న తర్వాతనే కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ రాయొచ్చు అనే అంశాన్ని చెప్తా ఉన్నారు. మొదటి రోజు నుంచి ఈ ఐఐటి, ట్రిపుల్ ఐటి, మెడిసిన్ కోచింగ్, ఈ కోచింగ్ లక్షల రూపాయలు పెట్టి పిల్లలను పొద్దటి నుంచి రాత్రి వరకు ఒక ఆట పాట ముచ్చట లేకుండా ఖైదీలుగా చేయకూడదు. చేస్తే ఈ విధంగా వంశికలాగా చనిపోతారు. లేకపోతే ఇంతకుముందు బాలి గారు చెప్పినట్టు వారంతా చదివిన వారు నిజంగా ఇంటర్వ్యూలోకి వచ్చినప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ఫెయిల్ అవుతా ఉన్నారు. ప్రాక్టికల్గా కూడా వారు ఆలోచన లేనటువంటి మిగతా వాళ్ళు చాలా మంది ఉన్నారు, బ్రిలియంట్గా ఉన్నారు. నేను వాళ్ళందరి గురించి మాట, కానీ 80-90% ఎవరైతే ఈ విధంగా ఇబ్బందులు పడతా ఉన్నారో. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ది స్టోరీ. We all made it. Meet the four siblings who cracked UPSC CSC to become. I know I'm just trying to check the link. This is a video, right, madam?
It's a story, so I'm not sure if it has a video, but it's very clear that you don't really need to go to such coaching classes and all these academies like the Kota and all these. We've read so many stories of uh, students, parents going there from villages and small tier 2, tier 3 cities, literally mortgaging their things in the hope and desire that their child becomes engineer or doctor. But the fact is that if your child does not have the aptitude, interest, passion, then there is no point in drilling them or pushing them in that torture. It's literally torture. And there is a school, governor school in the US. It's called TJ Thomas Jefferson. For uh, it's for it's a high school for science and technology, and it's like the most sought after school there. Um, so um, when they come in eighth grade to the middle school in the US, you have eighth, seventh, and eighth as middle school. So when the TJ officials come to your school in middle school, they make a very simple announcement that you don't have to go for any coaching or any special classes. If you have the aptitude, just have a good night's sleep, have a good breakfast, and come for the exam. That's it. They always emphasize on a good night's sleep and a good breakfast and come and do the test. Now that's what they want because they are inviting students who have the aptitude. Now look at the other scene. Parents, especially Indians, they move from whichever state they are in to Fairfax County, and they live in the topmost, the best school area. And they send in Loudoun County, there is this, TJ prep kind of school. So they send their children there. And it starts quite early, end of elementary school it starts. So every weekend, Saturday, Sunday, your child is going there for X number of years because you can only give the TJ exam after 8th grade. TJ is a high school, so 9, 10th, 11th, 12th. And imagine students go through that prep for 3, 4 years. Their
Hmm.
weekends are gone in just studying, and it's like all day.
Hmm.
So some make it, some don't. And of course, Indians and Asians are the most, the dominating student population at TJ. And why? Because of this. Because parents are so competitive. Parents are so pushy. Parents want the best. They want the best. Now, parents are not God. Parents are just, if we technically look at, spiritually, if you look at it, I am just a medium for my children to come to this life. I
Yeah.
don't own them. I'm not the master of their life.
Yeah.
They are not products, they are not things. But they just forget and they think that we have decided what you should be doing, we have decided how it should go, we have decided what is best for you, we are doing it for you. All those emotional blackmails and all those emotional things come in, but eventually who's making money? It's like 7 8 thousand bucks in dollars. 7 8 thousand dollars they are giving to that uh, prep institute, which is again run by an Indian, and not everyone makes it because there is a limited number of seats. And of course, your child cannot sustain and survive in such a competitive environment if it is not natural. The same thing's happening here. Why do we have like mushrooms and beauty parlors that are engineering colleges? What is the quality? Why do they just want, do they want it because they want to flaunt that my son or my daughter is an engineer, and then it's a marriage proposal, attractive scheme? Do they want it for that? Yes, of course they want it for that. Have they ever uh, done any engineering at home? Have they ever repaired a toaster or anything at home? No. For that they call a mechanic. If you are an engineer, of course you will do it at home. You have that STEM and makers skill, but they don't have any practical knowledge. They just are bookish worms, and they give all these exams. And now with the dummy schools, it's become very, very scary because students who were in like a school environment, like you said, a holistic approach where they had games, where they had music, where they had art and everything else. Now, after 10th, they are quitting school and joining dummy schools. I was very surprised to see this dummy school culture because this is the height of that, the mental infestation of how crazy these
I will
parents
show that.
are.
I will
Yeah.
show you the video which you sent me. I think your brother sent us from US. Yeah, this
And
is it.
people do talk about Indian parents are.
అక్కడి నుంచి స్టార్ట్
Yeah,
చేస్తా.
No, no.
that's
Nikki
how
దగ్గర
that's how
drop
they are
చేస్తా.
trying
నువ్వేం
to
ఇబ్బంది
show.
పడకు,
I'm trying
ఈ
to.
సందు చాలా.
Yeah.
I got a Daisy feeling.
Is this the one?
I got a
No.
Daisy feeling.
Is this the
Yeah,
one,
this
madam?
one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The same fever is catching up in America, sending their children for the coaching right after the 10th. Same thing is happening in India. 10వ తరగతి తర్వాత ఆట పాటలతో ఇంటర్మీడియట్ సిలబస్తో వారు ఎగ్జామ్స్ రాసి తర్వాతనే కోచింగ్కు పోవాలా, ఇంజనీరింగ్ కానీ మెడికల్ కానీ మిగతాది. కానీ ఆ కోచింగ్ 10వ తరగతి దాటంగానే మొదటి రోజు ఇంటర్మీడియట్ దాంట్లో రావడం వల్ల పిల్లలకు అర్థం కావడం లేదు. ఏం చదువుతున్నారు, ఎందుకు చదువుతున్నారు. అక్కడ తల్లిదండ్రులు ఈ కాలేజీలు, ఈ కార్పొరేట్ కాలేజీలకు పోతే ఈ విధంగా విద్య అభ్యసిస్తేనే వాళ్ళ పిల్లలు ఇంజనీర్లు లేక డాక్టర్లు అవుతారు, మంచి మార్కులు వస్తాయని విశ్వసించి ఆస్తులు అమ్మేసి చదివిస్తా ఉన్నారు. దే ఆర్ సెల్లింగ్ దేర్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ and sending their wards to such corporate schools which they doesn't teach basic intermediate syllabus right from the day one. Only from January or February they are teaching them how to pass intermediate board examination. It is a shame for the governments, and that too Mr. Kalvakuntla Taraka Ramarao, who comes from America. What is happening? How is that you are allowing children to be there right from 8 till 8 in the colleges, and how is that you are allowing them to run the colleges even during summer vacation? It is a shame. And you want best of the industries, corporates to come to India, Telangana, Hyderabad. Then what is happening to the basic level intermediate education? 3-4 years back many students committed suicide, Mr. Kalvakunta Taraka Ramarao. What happened to that report? Why is it not out? How is that you are pushing children into such stressful states? Pity. So watch this, enjoy.
Okay, what's going on, everybody? I'm Jabby Koué, joined by Sidzil Koué.
What's cracking, baby?
We are watching Why Indian Immigrants Become Rich and Raise Successful Kids. This is from a YouTuber known as Valuetainment. I've been watching him for quite some time. Very interesting guy, very informative. He lives in Florida now, as I understand, because of tax reasons. He talks a lot about finance and economics and stuff like that, and he presents the information in a way that is easy to digest. So if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, I definitely recommend him. So if you guys haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications. Pretty please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Like, subscribe, and upvoting. Subscribe to Valuetainment. Subscribe to Sidzil Koué. Links in the description below. Here we go.
Why is it that Indian immigrants from India, the country, and the ethnic group of Indians in America are crushing every other ethnic group in America, not by 5%, not by 10%, by 20% in income? We have stats on their divorce rates against everybody else. We have stats on how they raise their kids. We have stats on how they put their kids in certain majors over other majors. It's just mind-boggling, and everybody else is going to learn a ton about how Indians raise their kids.
He's not
Is
Indian, by the
he
way.
Indian?
No.
Okay, I was just
No.
about to ask. Okay,
All right, so if you get value from this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it. Income is one of the ways to measure who's more successful than others, okay? This is according to the U.S. Census Bureau, where Indian Americans rank amongst other ethnic groups. If you look at this chart here, this is 2018. Indians all the way at the top at $120,000 income. Taiwanese is number 2. They're ahead of them by nearly 25%, 24%. Chinese third, Japanese fourth, and it's Pakistani, Filipino, Indonesian, Korean, Cambodian, Hmong, and then Vietnamese. And look where white Americans are at 65.
Dude, what the hell? Wow, that's wild. And Indians clear the second place one by a huge margin too.
yeah, it's just insane. Wow.
Indians make $55,000 more per year than white Americans. By the way, white Americans, you're trying to go to 4 days a week work week. Try convincing an immigrant coming from India,
That's
Taiwan,
true.
China, Japan, Pakistan, Filipino, Indonesian, Korean, Cambodian, Persian, Hmong, Vietnamese, trying to convince them to only work 4 days a week. Not their kids who are born here, maybe, and they've been Americanized. Try convincing an immigrant to only work 4 days a week. They will laugh at you. The whole purpose of coming to America is that they can work as much as they want. It's called free enterprise. But let's kind of take a deep dive with some of
I think that's an interesting question, and it's an interesting thought. I do think that, though, we have a tendency to overwork ourselves, not just in the States, but in India, in Asia, because I've spoken to people, a lot of people, obviously, who live in India who overwork themselves. And it's just like, that's the culture, because if you don't do it, someone else will come and take your place like that. And so you kind of have to overwork yourself over there, which sucks. It's not good for your mental health.
And I'm curious if they do address that, because just because the number is high does not mean that there's like that happiness gauge as well that goes along with it. Just because you make a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean you're happy. Just because you're happy doesn't mean you're broke either.
Sure.
But there is context.
Balance.
I'm wondering if you add to that.
Everything's balance.
अरे कृष्णा, अरे ये आपकी उंगली ये स्किप बटन पे क्या कर रही है? इसको हटा लो। अरे दो मीठी बातें बोलनी है।
these other stats. Indian population living in poverty amongst percentage-wise with Americans. All Americans, roughly 13% of Americans live in poverty. All Asians, it's 10%. Look at Indians. Only 6% of all Indians in America live in poverty. Now, let's look at education. What percentage of them have bachelor's degrees? What percentage of them have master's or MBAs? And what degrees they have? Look at this here. In 2021, 80% of Indian immigrants over 25 years old or older reported having at least a bachelor's degree versus only a third of all foreign-born and U.S.-born adults. Again, 80% versus 33%. 80% of 25 and older have a degree, four-year degree. 49% of Indian immigrants adults have at least a graduate or professional degree in 2021 compared to 15% of foreign-born and 13% of U.S.-born. Nearly 4 times of U.S.-born is what they have. Now, what do they major in? Let's kind of go a little bit deeper.
I think this is all interesting stats, and I'm not taking anything away from what he's saying. But I think that so many people who are wildly successful don't finish college. So it's just important to keep things in perspective. You know, Bill Gates famously didn't finish college. So not everybody who doesn't finish college goes on to become Bill Gates, obviously, but it's just, I just thought it's worth pointing out, you know?
That one. Lots of people waste money on degrees that have no amount of high-paying jobs. Most people agree that you plan on going to college, you need to major in STEM to make it a good investment, but Indian Americans abide by this. It's like a religion, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Look at the chart here on what they major in. At the top, you see the blue, engineering, 36%. Then it's math and computer science, 35%. Then that 10% at the top, you see it? Business management. So they're intentional about what areas they're going to go major in. Now let's go even a little bit deeper than this on how they measure amongst other ethnic groups. This is according to the U.S. Census Bureau. If you look at the top right, you'll see all immigrants. It's a darker blue. You'll see Indian immigrants. It's a lighter blue. And then you'll see U.S. born, okay? Furthest to the left is management, business, science, art occupations. Look who's in the middle. 70% 59% of Indian immigrants versus 43% of U.S. born versus 37% of all immigrants. They major in management, business, and science. Look at service occupation. They're the lowest at 5%. U.S. is 15%, and all the other immigrants, 21%. They're like, no, you're not going to major in service.
This is interesting. This is very specific to America, though, because like it's not outside the realm of possibilities that you go somewhere else in the world that you'll have Indians in, service occupations. And it's like there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. It's just like you'll find that more overseas, like in Dubai, for instance.
Look at sales and office occupation, 10%, 15%, 21%. National resource constitution maintenance occupation, they're 1%. It's almost as if you do go and major in that, you're going to get a lot of pop-up from your parents there, but it's 1%, 8% for U.S. born, 12% from all immigrants. In production, transportation, and material moving, 6, 13, 15. Look, they're not interested in that. You know what they're interested in? Management, business, science is what they're interested in. They want to do STEM. So obviously this leads to them making a lot of money, but let's look at business. Are they startup entrepreneurs? Do they produce billionaires? I don't know. Let's take a look. So here's what it looks like. According to Oxford Academic, Indian immigrants represent 1% of the U.S. population, but 8% of the founders of high-tech companies and 1/3 of technology startups in Silicon Valley. 1% of total U.S. population, 8% of all founders. Here's some of the names of billionaires that produce. Jay Chaudhry, net worth $8.3 billion, CEO of Zscaler. Vinod Khosla, net worth $5.3 billion, former Sun Microsystem co-founder. Rome Wadhwani, $5.1 billion. Rakesh Ganwal, $4 billion, Indigo CEO, founder. Nareej Shah, CEO of Wayfair, $2.8 billion. Anil Bursi, net worth $2.3 billion, CEO of Workday. This is working on how they're producing and what they're majoring in. Now let's look at family perspective. What do they do that's different when it comes down to the family?
Now,
well, one thing that's interesting is it's very common for multiple Indian families to share a home while building a business together and continuously expanding the business. So it's almost like the concept of delayed gratification. Hey, let's live together. Let's minimize.
This is a very Asian thing in general.
Well, the thing is, like, a big part of that is your support system.
Yeah.
Not every immigrant has the exact same type of support system. Not everybody has that type of opportunity. Not every type of immigrant does.
You do hear a lot about immigrants who come and didn't really have much and barely had 2 nickels to rub together.
Right.
And they just made it work somehow. But then, like, they maintained their values and that family structure thing. And then that's how their offspring, their, what do you call it? The generation after them was able to find success.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Let's put all the money we're making back into the business rather than splurging and wasting money all over the place. A couple other things to be thinking about. When it comes down to divorce rates, did you know Indian Americans have the lowest divorce rates in America? Very interesting, right? Now, some of you are going to say, well, of course they have the lowest divorce rates in America because they have arranged marriages. They may in India, but not necessarily all in America. It does happen, but it's not as high of a number as it is in India, and it's gradually going away. Anyways, well, let's look at the stats here. According to National Center for Family and Marriage Research, blacks, they have the highest divorce rate, 30.8%. Hispanics are 18.5%. Whites are 15.1%. Other is 12.4%. But for Indian families, you ready? There's some studies that say 1.3% and some that show 6%, but they're lower than anybody else when it comes down to this.
Culture.
Obviously, some of it has to do with culture, ritual, all of that, but they have a lower divorce rate than others. Again, this is purely based on statistics.
It's not magic. Like, it's not like it's this magical thing.
एक highly paid YouTuber बनना is not a game of luck. If I turned on ads on my YouTube channel,
we're trying to follow exactly where this guy's going, watching everything to come back and report. Look at that concept. This kid had to do this with his sister. Some tells me Indian parents maybe do a little bit of that as well. Sisters are watching the same. You were the annoying brother, were you? I was very protective. Power to all the protective brothers out there. We need more of them out there. I'm hoping Tico and Dylan will be the same as well. I'm sure they will be. Okay.
So
this is what we're doing with our kids and
what they said.
Right. And there is I remember this article not too long ago, and it was talking about the percent of time that you have with your child, right? Mm-hmm. And the most, like between like the ages of like 0 and like 6, like your child is with you, like 75% of the time. And then once you get past like the age of 6, it drops to like 50-50. And then once they get to about 12, the amount of influence you have drops to like 25%. And then once they're in high school, it's like 10%. And then once they leave the nest, it drops down even further than that. So the amount of imprinting that a parent has, people have this idea, and a lot of times in American culture, that the amount of influence and imprinting that they have is when their kids are like past like the age of 12. But by then it's too late. The environment, it's nature that's going to be teaching your kid more so than you, more so than the home front. What I'm getting from what we've just got done watching is that percentage is being forced and shifted to the family. Like that child may be in the wild learning, from a very good amount of time just due to school and whatever it is. But when they get home, they get another like deep concentration of who they are, what they represent, what your goals are going to be. It like centers them again so that when they go back off into the wild isn't the one that's going to be swaying their identity, what they're here for, who they're representing, and what the things that they have to do. I think many families don't do that. They think that the little bit of time, they're like, oh, I got like an hour with Junior today to toss the ball. They think that that's going to be this significant change in that child's life. It's like, no, it's too late. The world has your kid and you're not grabbing them and then letting them know that this is who you are. This is what needs to be done. These are the people that are looking to you to move the family forward. I think culture is everything. The culture is telling these families which direction that their family is going to go in. And as a result of that, you're going to have success.
Yeah. You guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. Let us know your feelings, your experiences. I would especially love to know your experiences if...
Yeah.
We can pause the video.
Yeah, I'm coming to you now. Now you tell me the same
Because
Indian.
this is exactly what is being portrayed, that when you go abroad, they've given an example of Indians in America, but when you go overseas for better future, you need to be you need to have these science related technology, because Indians are leading in IT, so you need to have those. And even today, when I read on Twitter that in one college, 40% or 30% was IT course, but 70% was the main engineering core courses. So most of the students were very interested in doing the Java and all the other things. That was the 30%, which was not core. But the 70% that was core, they were not adept, or they were not they did not do a good job at it. So it clearly shows that everyone's focus is on IT. And why do they want IT? Because they want greener pastures, they want to go abroad. And nearly every parent you meet, whether they are 70, 80 years old or 50, 60 years old, they just have these my child is trying to go to Dubai, Australia, Canada, US. They just feel very proud saying all these things. But there is a little a tiny community that is in India, and they are trying to make education become that education it should be, where students will be benefited, not these companies, or not these coaching classes, or not these uh, business houses in the name of schools. Because most of the schools, if you see, they are all run like a business. If you don't pay the fee on time, uh, your child will not get the login for the in during the pandemic. I saw that if the parents did not pay the fee, the child did not get a login for the online class. Now, how bad can that be? And how insensitive of a school system to do that, because the only way to be part of the education or learning during COVID was uh, through online login. And if the parent has not paid the fee for some reason, or during COVID there were many reasons,
Yeah.
and the school decides to not give them the access to login, that's the worst a school can do. They just show and prove that they are business houses, they are corporate houses, not schools any longer, where you could go to your teacher and share, or you could go to someone in the school and share that something was happening at home, and you could share comfortably, conf- that somebody is listening to me. There is a TED talk by a teacher in America. She was an African American student teacher, and uh, her drawer, the table, desk, at school, it always used to have comb, toothbrush, toothpaste, all these little things, because the students who came were from very, very poor families. She used to have these cookies, some snack for them to eat, because most of the days they would come hungry. At least in America, there is food provided free of cost to all the people who are poor. They can have juice, milk, fruit, a variety of things. And it happens in all schools, from uh, K to 12. We don't even have a good version of that. In the name of this food at school, we've seen so many places they give just dal rice, and that dal is like water, and rice is god knows what quality. So the high level of corruption that we have in our country is just sucking out all the good that a few handful of people are trying to do. Because eventually, if you are out of these few, let's say, in thousand, if you have just 10 schools or just 10 institutions providing that genuine uh, you know education, or students are learning, it's not about imparting, that the teacher says I have imparted, but the test of time is, did your student learn? you know I can cook meal and I can set it up on the table, and I can say, read out the menu. But did my children eat? Did my family eat? Did they understand why are they eating spinach? Why are they eating protein? If that match did not happen, then there's no point in just imparting education, because it should be learner focused education. It can't be a teacher focus, that okay, you're just blurbing everything and teacher student has to catch. So our quality of education is really, really bad. It's in pits. So earlier days, when we were very proud of our institution and the gurukul and all of that, वो बहुत ही handful रह गए हैं. बाकी सब सिर्फ business बन गए हैं. And that Baiju is an example, prime example.
Yeah, that's right. Baiju, advertised by Shah Rukh Khan. Did you send your children to Baiju, Mr. Shah Rukh Khan, and all those wonderful
No.
actors in Southern India? Did you
Why?
send your children to Baiju Academy and others? Then why are you
No.
advertising?
Because
IITians committing suicides. We have seen in Telangana regularly
yeah,
what's happening in Basara IIT, and the other IIT also we have seen in India. Why are they committing suicides?
because
IITians.
they
What's
are
happening?
hiring all they are hiring all these actors and superstars as their brand ambassadors, only for one reason, that all their fan followings, the blind followers, come to them. That's it. It's a marketing gimmick. And I request all parents to please be aware of all these marketing gimmicks, because if someone is providing you quality, they don't have the budget for all this drama. They will
Yeah.
spend all their budget in providing that quality education. So whenever you see any superstar, please don't buy that product. I have an advertising and public relation background. I can tell you. I have a film production background. I can tell you. Okay? Please, please, please don't fall prey to this, because our children are suffering. That's the worst that can happen. And unfortunately, we are doing this to our students. Fortunately, India has the world's largest youth population. And what are we doing to them? we are just being very unfair, unkind. We don't have compassion for our own children, our own students. The teacher will not answer the question at school, but the student has to go for tuition from the same teacher who gets paid at least 80-90,000 per month from the government to do the job, in which they knit a sweater or go for something and sit in the sun and talk for hours. That's the government education. And last year, when I went on a village tour, I saw many village schools having this exact same setup. Even here, they send a 8th standard child to teach 6th and 5th standard children, and teacher are in the staff room. Many of the house helps, maids, they withdraw their students from such schools because only a child is teaching them. What does a 7th, 8th grade child knows that they can teach? You know, a girl who was in 5th grade came to me during COVID. She was my house help's daughter. I was shocked to see that she had absolutely no reading level of even 1st grade. She had no sound syllables, no recognition, no comprehension, zero comprehension. That is the scary scenario we have. And we are talking about this go to engineering college. They don't even know the basics. Government should shut down all these low quality engineering and medical colleges first of all. Have only 10-20 prime with quality education. And parents should be given counseling that engineering and medicine is not the only way that your child can be successful. If they don't give career counseling starting in 8th grade, the child doesn't know what to explore. The career counseling should start at middle school and high school level, so that by 10th they already have an idea what should I pursue, what should I major in. Here, after 12th, they go for career counseling. It's too late.
Yes. That's
It's
the
too late.
exploitation. Mafia is
Absolutely.
exploiting them.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Very sad. Very heartbreaking.
Very sad, very heartbreaking. And we want the people to understand, force all politicians, administrators, IAS, IPS, IRS, whoever it is, to send their children to government schools and
Of
government
course.
hospitals only, and public transport only they should take. ప్రజలు
That's not happening.
ఓట్లేసే ముందు ప్రజలు ఓట్లేసే ముందు అంత రాజకీయ నాయకులు కానీ ఐఏఎస్ ఐపీఎస్లు కానీ మిగతా వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా వాళ్ళ పిల్లలను ప్రభుత్వ కళాశాలలకు, ప్రభుత్వ పాఠశాలలకు మాత్రమే పంపాలా, ప్రభుత్వ ఆసుపత్రికి మాత్రమే పంపాలా. అప్పుడు సమానత్వం ఉంటుంది. రాజ్యాంగం చెప్పేది ఏంది? సమానత్వం. వాట్ డస్ అవర్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ ప్రీచ్? ఈక్వాలిటీ, ఈక్వి జస్టిస్ వి సే. సో సమన్యాయం జరగాలంటే మొత్తం రాజకీయ నాయకులు అందరూ కూడా ఒకటే విద్య, ఒకే కళాశాలకు పోవాలి, ఒకే పాఠశాలకు పోవాలా, ఒకే హాస్పిటల్కు పోవాలా, ఒకే రకమైనటువంటి మనం ప్రయాణం ఏదైతే చేస్తామో, పబ్లిక్ ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ అంటామో, ప్రభుత్వ రవాణా అదే వాడాలి. అప్పుడే మనం రాజ్యాంగాన్ని గౌరవించిన వాళ్ళు అవుతాం. ఈ తారతమ్యాలు లేనటువంటి విద్య అభ్యసించినప్పుడే ఇటువంటి ఈ ఒత్తిడులు పిల్లలు లోనుగారు. అందరూ ఆట పాట కష్టపడి చదువుతారు. అందరికీ ఒకటే రకమైనటువంటి విద్య లభిస్తుంది. అప్పుడు ఈ కార్పొరేట్ మాఫియా కల్చర్ ఉండనే ఉండదు. వన్స్ వెన్ యూ స్టార్ట్ సెండింగ్ children to all children, irrespective of caste, creed, right from prime minister to peon, their children should go to government schools, colleges. They should go by public transport. They should visit government hospitals only. Then the meaning of equijustice is done, and there is no parallel private or corporate education or mafia which tries to discriminate students on the caste basis. Now in Telangana you have caste based schools and colleges imparting education. Even religion, shamefully, they are dividing children at a very young age, saying that you are BC, you are ST, you are OC, you are minority. What is that nonsense? How can we allow this hooliganism just for the sake of their survival,
Yeah.
to encourage their own petty part leaders for votes? They are dividing the society. They've already divided it. If citizens understand the constitution, every citizen is a constitutional authority. So there should not be any discriminatory education or health or transport or those top notch, not top notch universities. Only some children should go. Where are the children of Kalvakunta Chandrasekhar Rao are studying? His grandsons, where are they studying? Why are they not going to government schools and colleges? Why Chief Minister visits Yashoda or another corporate hospital? Why is he not going to government Usmania or NIMS hospital? That is what I want people to understand. समझ जाइए क्यों आपके प्रधानमंत्री या मुख्यमंत्री के बच्चे दूसरे अच्छे स्कूल से कॉलेजेस जाते हैं और बाकी हम जैसे लोग बाकी उधर क्यों जाते हैं, और उनको उनके लिए यूनिवर्सिटीज पैसे वाले क्यों हैं? अगर ये सोच आप में आई, आप संविधान है तभी कुछ हो सकता, हम हमारे बच्चों को अच्छी परवरिश दे सकते, ताकि कोई भी कहाँ भी स्कूल से लेके कॉलेज या जहां भी जाते हो आप, कहां पर एक ही तरह की स्कूल कॉलेज रहना चाहिए, एक ही तरह की विद्या होनी चाहिए, तभी हम हमारे संविधान का मर्यादा का పాలన कर सकते हैं. సో ఇప్పటికైనా ఆలోచన చేయండి. ఎటువంటి నిర్బంధపు విద్య ఉదయం 8 నుంచి రాత్రి 8కి పంపకండి పిల్లలను. ఆటపాటతో కూడినటువంటి ఇంటర్మీడియట్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్, సిలబస్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్, ఇంటర్మీడియట్ బోర్డు ఏదైతే చెప్పిందో, ఏదైతే ఇచ్చిందో ఆ సిలబస్ పూర్తి చేయండి. వాళ్ళు చదివి దాని తర్వాత ఒక నెలలో కాంపిటీషన్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్స్కి తీసుకోండి. కానీ ఈ బోర్డ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ లేకుండా మీరు ఐఏఎస్లు ఐపీఎస్లు కానీ ఇంజనీరింగ్ డాక్టర్లు కావచ్చా? ఇది పాస్ కావాలి కదా. మరి ఇది పాస్ కావాలన్నప్పుడు ఇది బాగా చదవాలి కదా. ఇది చదివితేనే కదా మీరు ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ టైప్ కానీ మిగతాది ఎంసెట్ కానీ నీట్ కానీ ఆన్సర్ చేయొచ్చు కదా. కేవలం నీట్ ఎంసెట్ కోసమే మీరు ఇంటర్మీడియట్లో జాయిన్ అయ్యి ఈ విద్యను అభ్యసించకపోతే రేపు పొద్దున మీకు ఎక్కడి నుంచి మూలం వస్తుంది? మూలం రావాలంటే ఈ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ చదవాల్సిందే. If you want the basic, this syllabus of intermediate education is a standard must. Ignore all those NEET, MSET and all. Once you become perfect in this, you can excel in anything. I've given you the best example of 4 siblings, how they could crack the UPSC, IAS, IPS, how they have become. Simple thing. Understanding the core syllabus. ఆ నలుగురు ఏ విధంగా ఒక కుటుంబంలో ఐఏఎస్ ఐపీఎస్లు అయ్యారు? కేవలం ఆ సిలబస్ అర్థం చేసుకొని ఆ సిలబస్ చదివినరు, ఏ కోచింగ్ ఏది అవసరం లేదన్నారు, అప్పుడే వాళ్ళు నలుగురు ఐఏఎస్ ఐపీఎస్ ఒక కుటుంబంలో అయినారు. ఇది ఒక మంచి ఉదాహరణ. యా మేడం, సమ్మింగ్ అప్ కామెంట్స్.
There is an excellent resource we have ever since my daughter was in school. That's the Khan Academy. It is so good. You can just prepare for all examination, your regular examination, your regular course, everything just by using that free resource. And there is no need for going for any coaching classes. When we have a resource, why not use it? कितनी सारी कंपनियां आई और बंद हो गई, लेकिन वो अब तक चल रही है. Why? Because of quality. So I know I'm a user, my children have been the user, and I have seen my daughter once very clearly said this to somebody who was talking about how, after school they have to go for this coaching. And she said, why don't you just use Khan Academy? Why do you waste your time going for a coaching class? Okay. But that's a student's perspective. So there are students who do believe that using free resources can help them. लेकिन पेरेंट्स जो हैं, अगेन पेरेंट्स की इनसिक्योरिटी कि ओ मैं ये नहीं कर सका या मैं ये नहीं कर सकी, बट आई वांट माय चिल्ड्रन टू डू सो, ट्राइंग टू लिव देयर ओन ड्रीम्स. अपने बच्चों के कंधों पे रख के बंदूक चलाना, वो अब हमें दूसरे लोग जो भी ये कर रहे हैं, हमें उनको बोलना है कि आप ये बंद करिए, बिकॉज उसके कारण कुछ बेटरमेंट नहीं हो रहा है, डिजास्टर हो रहा है, मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज हो रहे हैं. ये सुसाइड दिखाता है कि द चाइल्ड और द स्टूडेंट वाज होपलेस एंड हेल्पलेस. अगर आप किसी भी सर्वाइवर से पूछेंगे कि लास्ट थॉट क्या था सुसाइड के फाइनल डिसीजन के वक्त, तो वो यही बोलेगा, आई डोंट वांट टू डाई. बट द सिचुएशन, द हेल्पलेसनेस, द होपलेसनेस, एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली पेरेंट्स उसके बहुत बड़े पार्ट हैं, टू पुश देम, टू फोर्स देम. और जो पेरेंट्स कहते हैं कि हम फोर्स नहीं करते अपने बच्चों के, दे शुड लुक इनटू द मिरर एंड आस्क, क्या सचमुच आप फोर्स नहीं करते? क्या आपके घर में एक बहुत ही ओपन एनवायरनमेंट है जहां आपके बच्चे आपके साथ बात कर सकते हैं? पेरेंट्स हमेशा बिजी हैं, दे डोंट हैव टाइम. मेंटल हेल्थ काउंसलर के पास ले जाना एक स्टिग्मा है, सो दे डोंट गो फॉर काउंसलिंग. बच्चा किससे बात करे? अगर स्कूल के काउंसलर के पास जाता है तो बाकी सारे बच्चे लोग उसका मजाक उड़ाने लगते हैं. So they literally, even in colleges, they don't really want to go to the school or college counselor to share what's going on, because people start making fun of them. What should the student do? Think of it from the student's point of view. They are so stuck. They are like sandwiched between the devil and the deep blue sea. So parents को ये सोचना है, because parents gave birth to the student, सबसे पहली responsibility उनकी है. And education institutions, I really want all these dummy schools, coaching classes, इनको बंद होना चाहिए. Because eventually the students have understood कि हमको 20 लाख 50 लाख 10 लाख रुपए दे के सीट मिल जाती है, पढ़ने की क्या जरूरत है? That attitude is bad. अगर आप एजुकेशन आपके पास आपको मिल रही है, तो आपके पास एटीट्यूड नहीं होना चाहिए, आपके पास ह्यूमिलिटी होना चाहिए. विद्या ददाति विनयम. तो अगर आपके पास वो विनय नहीं है, तो इसका मतलब है आपके पास विद्या नहीं है. वो एजुकेशन कोई काम की नहीं जब आप दूसरे को अपने बराबर समता का स्थान नहीं दे सके, जब आप एक गार्ड, वॉचमैन या हाउस हेल्प के साथ रिस्पेक्टफुली बात नहीं कर सके. सो हमारे पास बहुत सारे इश्यूज हैं सिर्फ इसके कारण, दैट पीपल हैव दैट बैड एटीट्यूड कि मैं बेटर हूँ, या मैं ये कर सकता हूँ, और उसके कारण वो पूरा एनवायरनमेंट खराब हो रहा है एजुकेशन का, बिकॉज पीपल आर बाइंग एजुकेशन. तो दिस हैज टू स्टॉप. ऑल दीज डमी स्कूल्स, इनकी कोई जरूरत नहीं है. और ये जो इतने ग्रास के जैसे क्रॉप अप हो जाते हैं, ऑल दीज बाइजू काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स, इनकी भी कोई जरूरत नहीं है. हमें सिर्फ टीचर ट्रेनिंग करनी है अच्छी, और टीचर्स शुड टीच इन स्कूल. We don't need all these ed-tech companies to teach who themselves don't have any education background.
Wonderful.
और जो fear है ना, ये जो मंदिर, ये जो religious जो पहले जो होता था कि ये नहीं करोगे तो ये हो जाएगा, वो जो fear factor था, they made the most of that. और वो fear factor का अभी इन लोग they are using it कि अगर आपने अपने बच्चे को उसमें नहीं डाला कोचिंग क्लास में, तो आपके बच्चे का सिलेक्शन नहीं होगा. अगर आपका बच्चा डमी स्कूल में नहीं जा रहा, तो आपके बच्चे को नहीं मिलेगा रैंकिंग. तो वो फियर डाल रहे हैं by this advertising and by saying the same thing again and again. But parents have to understand, education is fearless. You don't have to be afraid and then send your student, because student has already been, उसका तो काम खत्म हो चुका है जब वो डर में, स्ट्रेस में कोई परफॉर्म नहीं कर सकता, कोई पढ़ नहीं सकता. We need happy students, we need mentally fit students, we need resilient students, we need happy learners जो पढ़ना चाहते हैं, वो परसू करना चाहते हैं. सिर्फ डिग्री के लिए कुछ बनना नहीं चाहते कि इंजीनियर बन गए आगे जाके बैंक में काम कर लिया, इंजीनियर बन गए आगे आईटी में चले गए. तो फिर आप इंजीनियर बने क्यों? क्योंकि मेरे पेरेंट्स ने कहा था, क्योंकि मेरे सारे फ्रेंड्स लोग कर रहे थे. No, that should not be the reason why someone chooses what they study. वो पूरी चीज को हमें rethink, reinvent करना है. It's going wrong majorly.
Wonderful. I think this is the last message. Allow students to enjoy, have fun and frolic. Let them do education basing on the syllabus, not on the competitive management mafia. Allow children to study intermediate syllabus first. And while doing so, no question of allowing children to be in the colleges right from 8 to 8, and don't send your children during holidays to the colleges. They need to become a wholesome citizen, stress free. Learning should be very clear, and it should be happy learning, responsible learning with all humility. You should become a good student, a good citizen, a youthful, exuberant citizen, a happy citizen, not forcing him right from morning till evening. 2 years, I was hearing someone, 2 years, don't send your children out. They have to sit at home. What is this nonsense? As a doctor, I asked them, if 2 years, if you just blindfold and put your child like a jail like situation, what about the milestones? What is that he has to do? Just mugging, mugging and mugging in the same atmosphere. You don't allow him to grow, no physical activity. The mental ability will improve only when you allow this mind to expand through sports and extracurricular activities. That is the only way the
Yeah.
child will understand to take the pressure of success and failure. He will learn the society. But you are forcing him to be away from the society. I am challenging all parents. All these politicians, administrators, their children go to the best of the schools and colleges wherein they have fun and frolic. They keep sending their children to every part of the world. During these 2 years, they enjoy everything. And how is that you are trying to elect such type of people who are forcing you and your children, you are forcing you to spend huge money because they have already diluted government schools, colleges. No private aided colleges now. They're forcing to sending your children by spending huge money, selling your properties to such type of schools, wherein right from morning till evening your children is jailed. Unable to overcome this stress, the child students are committing suicides. Is this type of education we need? That's what I said. Kalvakuntla Taraka Ramarao. What did is your child going through the same schedule? And All India Majlis Ittihadul Muslimanism party, opposition party. Your children are studying in America. What is that you are trying to propose your own old city from where you get most of votes on the community's name? How costly and how captive education has become. ఇప్పుడైనా ఆలోచన చేయండి. వాళ్ళ పిల్లలందరూ ఆడుతూ పాడుతూ అంత విద్యను అభ్యసిస్తారు. మీ పిల్లలేమో మన పిల్లలేమో ఇంత డబ్బులు ఖర్చు పెట్టి వాడిని పొద్దు నుంచి రాత్రి వరకు జైళ్ళ లాంటి స్థితిలో పెట్టి చదివించడం అవసరమా? మన పిల్లలకు కావాల్సింది జ్ఞానము, విజ్ఞానము, ఆట పాట, దాంతోపాటు వినయం. ఒక మంచి పౌరుడు పౌరురాలిగా తీర్చిదిద్దాలంటే వారికి 10వ తరగతి వారికి ఎట్లయితే ఆట పాట ఉంటుందో ఇంటర్మీడియట్లో కూడా అటువంటి ఆట పాట అన్నీ ఉంటే ఎటువంటి ఇబ్బందులు ఒత్తిడులు వచ్చినా ఒత్తిడుల నుంచి బయటకు వచ్చేటువంటి ఆలోచన ఈ ఆట పాట వీటి ద్వారా కలుగుతుంది. కాబట్టి అవి మీరు అవంతా ఆపేసి కేవలం విద్య ఉదయం నుంచి రాత్రి వరకు సెలవులు లేనటువంటి విద్య ఆ విధంగా మీరు మన పిల్లలను చదివిస్తే రేపు వాడు వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఇంజనీర్ డాక్టర్ అయితే వాడి పరిస్థితి ఏమిటి? మానసికంగా ఎంతవరకు తట్టుకోగలడు? హౌ కెన్ దే బికమ్ మెంటల్లీ ఫిట్ అండ్ స్ట్రాంగ్ వెన్ దే graduate into as engineers and doctors? They are going to serve the same society.
Yeah.
So think,
They are
we have all
employable
gone through
either.
we have all gone through this stress and strain. We have studied 10th and our intermediate education was fun and frolic. We used to have everything. We used to run around, elections in the colleges, sports meets. Now what is happening? I'm giving just example of Telangana. Dabba colleges in one building, they are permitting them right from morning till 8, all courses they are run. Is there any playground, Mr. Kalvakunta Chandrasekhar Rao, Kalvakunta Taraka Ramarao? Where is the playground, Mr. Naveen Mittal? You're the secretary and commissioner. Chief secretary, you are in a sleeping mode. Where are the playgrounds? Where are the extracurricular activities in these colleges? How are you permitting them? Absolute nonsense and trash. It's a shame. Post independence, you are cultivating such bad habits by not allowing children to have fun and frolic, sports and cultural activities, but you are permitting mushrooming of such so many huge intermediate colleges, degree colleges, engineering, medical colleges. In whose interest? And allowing all this corporate mafia to control these corporate colleges, and they are imparting education which is away from the education syllabus prescribed by Board of Intermediate Education in Telangana, likewise every state. What are Board of Intermediate Education and governments doing? Why are you allowing? Don't you regulate? Don't you go and check in the college what is that they are teaching? And why is that this college is functioning right from 8 till 8 p.m.? And how is that it is functioning during summer holidays and another holidays? And are they paying the same amount of salary to the teachers? Are teachers mentally fit now? Is there any healthy atmosphere in the colleges? It's a shame.
And
Thank you
there
very
is
much.
another point. A NASCOM report had said that the employability of the youth that's coming out of these colleges is hardly in the lower 10-15%. The youth that's passing out of all these colleges is not employable. They don't have those employable skills. So skills are most important. If skills are not developed, the person, whether they have a medical or engineering degree, if they don't have hands-on learning, if they don't have experience, if they don't have practical experience, there's no point of that degree.
Wonderful.
So what they are doing is absolutely wrong. If they are not employable, what's the point in doing that degree?
Yes. They don't have skill, and if they are not happy, what sort of education is that? As a doctor into journalism, I am a doctor. That is why I am disseminating information. We are giving information through such wonderful guests like Anuja Bali, so that parents will become enlightened. Students will gather strength. They will not lose hope. They will not become captive. They can also start speaking because it is your life. And you should speak to your parents, and parents also should not force them. Don't sell your properties and send them to such colleges. You tell them, if my child cannot get quality education like your child or other child, it's better you resign and go away. Stop such type of colleges. Demand. Until and unless you demand, nothing is going to happen. Why I'm saying you demand? Because you are the constitutional authority, right? From prime minister to chief minister, they're all public servants. How long this fear? ఎన్ని రోజులు ఈ భయం? మీరు సంవిధానం ప్రధానమంత్రి నుంచి ముఖ్యమంత్రి వరకు వాళ్ళంతా కూడా ప్రజా సేవకులే. ఎందుకు ఈ నిర్బంధపు విద్య? విద్యలో ఈ తారతమ్యాలు ఎందుకు? మీకో విద్య, నాకో విద్య, ఉన్న వాళ్ళకు ఒక విద్య. హాస్పిటల్ అవే, ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ అదే, విశ్వవిద్యాలయాలు అట్లనే. ఈ తారతమ్యాల మధ్యలో ఇటువంటి విద్యను అభ్యసించిన పిల్లలు వాళ్ళు మానసికంగా అక్కడనే మీరు చెప్తా ఉన్నారు, నువ్వు ఉన్నోడివి, నువ్వు లేనోడివి, నువ్వు ఈ కులం, నువ్వు ఆ కులం. అటువంటి విద్య అవసరమా? మళ్ళా ఈ కార్పొరేట్ మాఫియా ఇంటర్మీడియట్ సిలబస్ చెప్పకుండా, ఇంటర్మీడియట్ ఎగ్జామ్ పాస్ కాకుండా మొదటి రోజు నుంచి ఈ కార్పొరేట్ కాంపిటేటివ్ నీట్ ఎంసెట్ విద్యను ఎట్లా అభ్యసిస్తావు? నీ సబ్జెక్ట్ అర్థం కాకుండా ఏ విధంగా దాన్ని రాస్తావు నువ్వు? అందు గురించి తల్లిదండ్రులారా ఆలోచన చేయండి. పేరెంట్స్, థింక్ అట్లీస్ట్ నౌ before it is too late. Don't become a divided society, a discriminated society in education, health, and all other basic necessities, because constitution clearly says equijustice, irrespective of caste, creed, religion or region or otherwise. And education is the most important aspect of it. The education should be a happy based education with all humility and skills.
Yeah, and if we see that why none of the parties or politicians focus on educating people, most voters are not educated because they are the vote bank. Because an educated person starts thinking, starts understanding the difference between good and bad, the do and don't. So, if people get educated and if people learn what is right and wrong, the vote bank will be empty. That's why they don't want to promote education, quality education. And it's a very bad circle, but this must be broken, this must be shattered, because we cannot see in 2023 where pushy parents, insecure parents, and frustrated students, and incompetent teachers and professors, and business minded coaching classes. This is just not the future that India needs. We need a better future. When we talk about India being a superpower, India can be a superpower only when each and every child is learning things at school, not just enrolled or going to school. What is your child learning at school? Unless and until parents start focusing on that instead of asking, how was school? And the student says, okay, that's the end of conversation. But if you ask, what did you learn today? That will be an open ended question where the student will think and give you a response. And if you keep listening to the same thing, nothing, nothing, then you have the right to go and ask the teacher, why is my child learning nothing? That's when you become an advocate, because you know what is learning and why did you send your child to school. So unless parents are educated, illiterate people cannot ask that question because they don't know the value of education. Unless and until illiteracy is zero, we can't win this war. So thank you
Illiteracy
so much.
again with literacy with wisdom. They should understand. Even literacy, if you have don't understanding, no proper
Yeah,
understanding, then it is
yeah,
of no use. So
yes,
literacy with wisdom. Start
yes,
questioning.
true, true.
Start questioning and reasonable questioning. And a student should learn in a happy frame of mind with all sports, curricular activities, and it should not be like a jailed or captive education. And I want all the politicians, policymakers to rethink, otherwise, people will start, as we are finding in America now, what's happening, how it is going to change. Let us not allow such type of nirbandhapu vidya. And my appeal to parents: be sensible, think about your past, how you have enjoyed. Why don't you allow your children also to enjoy, go through that fun and frolic stage, while allowing them to become responsible. And with all humility and happiness, we should have a very good student and youth community guiding India, ruling India, rather than one or two dynasties, or the caste leaders ruling us by divisive political mindsets, discriminating education at the very fundamental school and college level itself, stating that you are this caste, you are that caste, you are minority. If this has to go, we should have that sensible education, happy education with all humility, with good coping and learning skills. Only then you
Yeah,
can stop the suicides, and we can have a better learned India, which will be the world leader. Thank you very much, madam.
thank
Do
you,
support
thank you.
DRTSP channels, Citizen DRTSP channel, and Environment People DRTSP channels. Many were complaining that in the beginning there was some disturbance in the voice. So that is why I'm going to repeat this on the DRTSP channel tomorrow. The same thing, the same show will be retelecasted on DRTSP channel, because this is very fundamental. Until and unless you have educated society, a happy society, skillful society, we are not going to rule anyone, for that matter, your own self, your own family, your own society, state, or country. Thank you very much. Take
Thank
care.
you. Good night.
Good night.
All the best to everyone. And children, please don't take such measures.
Yes, don't commit suicide. చావుకు పోకండి, చావకండి. మీరు బ్రతికుంటే ఏమైనా చేయొచ్చు, ఎంతైనా సాధించవచ్చు. మేమందరం ఈ షోస్ చేసేది కూడా మీరు బ్రతికి ఉండి సాధించాలా. తల్లిదండ్రులు కూడా మీరు కూడా భయాందోళనకు గురి కాకండి. మన పిల్లలు ఇదైనరు అదైన భయపడకండి, ఆ భయాన్ని తీసేయండి. సో రిమూవ్ దట్ ఫియర్, allow children to get educated in a very healthy atmosphere. Earnest appeal, children, students, don't commit suicides. Don't ever think of getting into that extreme step. If you are alive, you can do wonderful things. This is a wonderful, wonderful place to live in. So don't end your life, come whatever may. Thank you very much.
Bye. Good night.